The worst thing that would be is if I had to email you and be like, "Oh, none of this recorded. Do you want to do it again? We'll do it in
Like, we
January
can
next
set
year."
another time aside
But
somewhere.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be good.
But again, so thank you while we're being recorded. Thank you, Nick, for joining me today. It's really nice to meet you. Yeah, I'd say in person, but I guess this is the closest we've actually met face to
Yeah.
face, right? So it's a weird world. Tantor they don't talk to me at all. They talk through an agent. The agent talks to me, and I feel like I'm going through 6 hoops just to send a simple message. But
Oh my
so it's
gosh.
really nice to get to know you. Because yeah,
Yeah,
they just
likewise.
that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I'll jump right in. Is my first question for you. What I wrote here is, you describe yourself as a queer Italian American actor and voice artist. How has your identity shaped the kind of roles or projects you gravitate toward? That's my first question for you, but within that, feel free to introduce yourself and anything else
Yeah.
you want to share.
Yeah, my name is Nick Monteleone. I'm a voice actor, narrator, sometimes screen actor every once in a while. But yeah, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and I live in Los Angeles now. I would say to the question though, nobody really pays attention to like exactly how much your background influences everything that you're a part of. Nobody can give the same experiences as somebody else who has a fully different background and other lived experiences going to give. Like, which is why authentic casting has become so big these days of like, if you're a queer actor, you should play a queer role, or we encourage it, you know, like because actors are supposed to do like a breadth of all kinds of different things and styles. But if you already have part of the known like bits of it and you've already like existed in that space, it just makes it that much more true and easy. So I find myself excited about queer projects a lot more. I don't like to like pigeonhole myself to just play like queer roles or just play like gay characters or whatever it is, especially when it comes to like audiobook work. But I just like it more. It just feels more me. It feels more real. I can dip into different emotions than I would for like different characters. And I've just been like listening to myself more of like what feels right, I guess, in that regard.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. Like straight readers will read Singlets and Secrets and come to me and be like, I never thought in a million years that you would have to think about this or experience
Yeah.
this or go through this. And on one hand, that's exactly why I love straight readers reading these type of books, because I think you learn something about another person's perspective.
Yeah.
But you also nailed it that having a queer narrator, you're not Aiden, you don't have the same experiences, but it's more relatable. You can kind of understand what he's going through, and I
Yeah.
think that certainly adds an edge to how you narrate.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, there was so many bits about the, like, with Aiden feeling nervous around your friends, like you're holding this secret in, or having a crush on somebody, like just seeing a guy walk down a hall being, oh, he's cute. Does that mean I'm into him? Like, discover that level of self-discovery is just different for a straight narrator or reader than compared to like a gay or queer or trans or anybody. If this was a different story also, it would be like, okay, this is what we're telling, this is what we're talking about. It just gives you a different perspective on love and understanding. It felt more relatable for me because I was reading a lot of that, and there's so many parallels between me and Aiden. There's so many moments that I was like, oh, I totally did that when I was in high school. I remember those crushes. I remember those moments. So it just felt good. But yeah, no, I'm so glad that I was able to work on this though. It was so fun. I wish more of these kinds of books were out there about different types of love, and it was refreshing.
There's so many different things I'd love to say. One of the things I wrote right before meeting you, I was just brainstorming some ideas, but I do a lot of different speeches and talks too.
Mm,
But one thing I wrote was, authentic friendships are worth coming out for. And just listening to you right there just hit me, because all these different experiences that we have, that's something perhaps that some straight readers wouldn't necessarily even know, that just playing with the idea of we may not even have genuine friendships when we're pretending to be someone else, right? And I think Aiden's
yeah.
certainly going through that. And I've gone through that where I felt like, can I trust this friend? Can I open up to them? What changes when you come out?
Yeah,
All that
absolutely.
stuff.
It changes the way that you walk through life and the way that you walk through even learning to trust and like, be a kid and be like a person at that age is hard enough as it is. But like layering on top of that, like I have this thing inside that I think that is going to change the way people view me or the way that people like see me as their friend or like whatever it might be. Uh, when in reality, it doesn't really matter all that much.
I've heard it phrased as, it's not so much even coming out as it
Yeah.
is letting people in.
Yeah,
And I like that. I kind of like that as it's just something we're thinking about.
I like that too.
What first drew you to voice acting? Was there a moment or a project that made you think, this is what I want to do? Tell us about
Oh
that.
my God. So I went to college for culinary arts, actually. And so I was working in hospitality and restaurant management for about 10 years or so. But I had always acted when I was in high school, when I was in like two different community theaters. I was like back and forth between like practice and shows and musicals. And I always loved it and I always felt like a pull towards acting and performing and storytelling. So I went away from it for a little bit. I needed to discover a different aspect of what I like and what I want to experience for myself. And I felt, no, I think that acting is still where I want to be. But where do I start? Like, what do I do with that? And growing up, I've always been a gamer and I've always loved like cartoons and animated shows in particular. Um, and there was something that clicked one day that I was watching a show and I was, oh, that's a person. I was behind the animated screen and behind the drawings and the jokes and the dialogue. It's like, oh, this is somebody's job that they get to do this every day and they get to become this character and like do this, tell this story every day. I was like, I think that's it. I think that that's the one. And then I started to learn about video game voice acting and narration and motion capture and so many other aspects of like the voiceover side of acting. I was like, oh no, this is where I belong for sure.
That's awesome. I love those moments. That's really cool. I think I don't have your talent when it comes to the voice acting, but I think if there was something if I ever wanted to try, that would exactly what you said is sometimes it's so neat to hear or think about the person and the voice behind a character. I think that'd be really exciting to do. When did you move to LA?
I moved to LA maybe 3 years ago.
Okay, and
Right,
to be
right
around
during.
to like be in the industry or
Yeah, totally. Yeah, a lot more studios out in LA are more animation, video game, motion capture. There's also a lot of like narration houses out here for like doing other audiobooks. And so there was more opportunities out here in that part of voiceover that I was interested in rather than being in New York. I mean, New York is great for Broadway and it's great for like a lot of commercial voiceover in particular, but there aren't as many of the like other side of voiceover studios out there as there are out here. So during that small global event that we all experienced,
yeah.
I was making the move. I was like, I think I just have to do it. I think I just have to pull the plug and make the jump. And then that happened. So it delayed me for an extra like year or so. But I think around 2022, I moved out here. I was kind of just like, I just have to do it. I can't not. I have to see if this is a thing or not. And turns out it is.
I just love that. I had a theater teacher in college, and I jumped in theater for a couple of years and did my best, which is why I learned I can't act. But he once said something that always stuck with me to all the dreamers, and so you can apply it to whatever your dream is out there. But he said, kind of contradictory to what many teachers might say, or parents anyway, but he said, don't have a plan B. There is no plan B. You just keep going. And
Yeah.
I like that because I
I
think
like
if
that a lot too. I didn't have a plan B coming out here. I was also still bartending when I was out here to have a safety net of some sort. And it got to the point where I was like, I don't know if I have enough work just yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I have like a great support system. My parents helped me a bunch. My close friends helped me when I was in a pinch. And it took like a handful of months, but as of last October, I've been narrating for just over a year full time. But it like,
congratulations. That's so
thank
it's just
you.
you're doing the thing. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, but it's like people don't realize all the steps. They don't realize the timeline that it takes to actually be solidly in this thing. I've been now voice acting for about 6 years or so, and things are just starting to get traction where I feel good. I feel great where I'm at and where I'm going. But yeah, I don't know.
I think
Throw
there's
out the
got to be
plan B.
a lot of patience in any sort of creative or performing art.
Yeah.
That's
I
for
mean,
sure. Like very similarly, I've been writing and publishing for officially for 10 years now, and
mm,
I feel like I'm just getting started and
yeah,
I'm
which
just
is
figuring
also
this
a
stuff
nice
out.
feeling too. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's still it gives you that motivation to like, keep going because there's more to see, there's more to do, and you're like, no, I'm enjoying this process, this road that I'm going down. It's fun, and I think that this is where I'm supposed to be walking. And I think as long as that feels right, like, throw it all away. Who cares?
Wrote all over. Yeah, I mean, just I like to think perfection and ultimate success, that's never the goal. It's progress. I want to get better every day. I want more opportunities every day and just keep walking the walk, stay on the road.
100
I love
100%.
that. All right, so I looked up some stuff about your acting background to ask about that. You know, the teacher in me wants to ask. Tell me a little bit. Tell us about your training background and how that may have helped you, and what would you advise any other dreamer out there listening to us how to get started in this field?
Yeah, I would say do your homework. Do your homework, study up. I was at the point, especially when I was just getting into voiceover, I was thinking about it constantly. I was thinking about it all the time. I was like, this is so freaking cool. I just want to figure it out. I just want to just know more and do more. And like it really took over a lot of my time where I was just focused on that. Let it take you a bit. Uh, just just go for it, I would say. But do your homework, look up other voice actors that are inspiring to you, look up other creatives in voiceover or in acting that are just like you feel like they're great and they're inspirational and you like want to know more. And see where they're at. Like shoot them an email. Who knows? You never know who's going to respond. But I mean, I said like I went to school for culinary arts. So I was doing a lot of training and acting when I was in high school. But then it was like full stop. So when I think that this is where I'm supposed to go, I looked up acting studios. I looked up what other people were studying and doing. I looked up so many voiceover classes, and then the voiceover teachers were like, "You also have to do improv, and you have to do other acting, and you have to learn every bit that is involved in this." That's where I want to start.
Hmm.
And along that, you also find out like other parts that you're like, oh my God, I love improv. This is so fun for me and I enjoy this. I'll join a group and I'll meet other people there. And then it just kind of like keeps bringing you in the place where you're supposed to be. But you don't just jump in. It doesn't just happen. You're not just an actor all of a sudden. I feel like I am never just an actor. I'm always trying to learn more. I'm always trying to like get better and see how I can improve and who I can connect with to help me keep going down this road. So I would just say stay curious and just study hard.
No, I love all of that. I love the let it. You said something along the lines of see where it takes you and let it
Yeah.
kind of go with. It gave me sort of that just go with the flow mentality in the sense that there's a lot of people who probably have an idea as to what this is or have an idea of what they want to do, but really don't know for sure, and they
Yeah.
need to stay open to what the opportunities may be and what
Yeah.
you might learn along the road. Yeah, the improv stuff I think is really kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I even like when I was doing improv, I did a class. I did a couple of classes in New York. I did like Upright Citizens Brigade in particular, and
yeah.
I liked improv, but I was like, this is not specifically for me. Where I was like, I enjoy it, and improv is very useful when you're doing like auditions and voiceover, and they want you to like be quick and think on your feet. But there's a game and there's a thing in improv. It's enjoyable for me specifically. But I'm glad that I learned that about myself. I would have never learned if I didn't do it. So
Yeah.
I would encourage people to just do the thing.
Yeah, it's one thing to think about something or even know a little something about it. Something else entirely to jump in and do it and see how it works out. I love that.
Yeah, totally.
Tell us one of the more challenging voice acting gigs you've done. Maybe what made it challenging and what you learned from that.
Yeah. Oh, that's hard. Because like in the beginning, voiceover is really hard, and it was really difficult to like figure it out. I would say probably one of my first jobs was one of the harder ones that I did. It was through like what we call like a pay to play website, which like you sign up for a membership yearly, and then you're just like you have this slew of auditions that you can look through. Most of them are not the best, but getting started, you can kind of sift through things and practice. And that was like the biggest part of it. But I was brought in on this very, very small game that I don't even think got made called Tide Turn. And I just didn't know what I was doing yet. And that was the hardest part about it. Because I think that I'm just going to wing it and we're going to figure it out. And I didn't have as much training as I do now. And I didn't have as much like confidence in what I was doing. And that took a lot of practice and that took a lot of time. And because I didn't realize how fast they were going to go, how many takes they want for each thing. I didn't realize what they want and when they want me to move on or the jargon of the recording industry. I didn't know. And I think that that was the hardest part about it because I wasn't prepared, which is
Yeah.
okay. That's how we learn. We get better by doing things and messing up and being, okay, this is fine. We should maybe be a little more ready next time. And I was, and it got better. But I think that was probably one of the harder ones early on, I would say.
Cool. How many times have you, or how many takes do they do? Like I know that's probably a weird question, but I always get curious. Like, what's one of the weirder ones where you've had to do a lot of different takes?
A lot of the times for commercial work, they'll have you do a lot of takes. It's not a nudge on you being a bad actor or not getting the script or whatever it is. It's just the client wants what they want and they want options. And you're the tool to get them the options that they want. And that's it. And because at the end of the day, it's a job. You're doing a thing to get a product and be proud of something. So they could ask me for 100 takes. I wouldn't care. As long as you got the one in there that you like. But commercials, they'll typically do a lot more takes because there's a lot of specificity with what the client wants for this big project, because usually there's like a bigger price tag with commercial work as well. So they're trying to figure it out as much as you are trying to figure it out as well. So they're like, let's just get a lot of variety of this one line or these three words hundreds of times. Not hundreds, but a large handful. It'll be maybe a 2-hour session. You'll do the same line the whole time.
Wow, that's cool. I keep thinking of the scene. I don't even know if it's true.
Mm.
But there's the legend of Stanley Kubrick directing The Shining and having Shelley
Hmm.
Duvall walk up those steps like
Oh yeah.
130 sometimes. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, they want to get it. They want to get the thing. And even sometimes with video games, or I've done a couple of video games where it gets really, I'm crying in the booth and I'm like in it and it's gritty and it's beautiful. But in the back of my head, I'm like, please let this only be 2 times I'm here. But this is also a lot for me. After like a good session, I'm worn out. I'm emotionally spent. And sometimes with books too. Sometimes it sneaks up on you. There's been scenes in your books as well that I've just been okay, I'm gonna take a minute. I leave and I come back. But yeah, as long as they get what they're looking for, that's kind of, you have to leave your ego at the door and just be like, we're just gonna make it good. I want it to be good, and that's it.
I love that. All right, so on the flip side, tell us about one of your favorite projects so far that you've done, like one where you really felt you nailed it, perfectly in the zone. Anything like that
Yeah.
come to mind?
Yeah. I worked on this game a couple of years ago called Reverse 1999, where my character's name is Jay or Joe, actually, which is funny. But he it was one of those auditions that I got it and I read the sides for it and I was like, I didn't get it. And I just like threw it away and I forgot about it. And then I got the call that I like booked the job and I was like, okay, I did something right. That's good. And then I asked them, why did you hire me for the thing? Why did you hire me for the gig? And he was like, you just sounded the most natural. You sounded the most like what we were looking for, and you weren't like putting it on. You weren't going crazy. You were just doing you. You weren't making a character, a voice. It doesn't always have to be this ridiculous thing. Most of the time, people just want you for you. So I was just being my version of what this was. And the character has a lot of intense moments about his sister and his relationship with his family. And I love my sister dearly in real life also. But she's a big inspiration for me. And there was just a lot of parallels that we had. We both lived in San Francisco. It just felt right. And that's what the client wants too. They're not going to cast you unless it feels right. It's not complicated. That's just what it is.
I love that. I love that. Congratulations. That's really
Thank
cool.
you. Yeah, it was fun. It was a great time.
So I've learned so far, besides your professional work, that well, I assume anyway that you can cook. What are some of your other personal passions then, outside of voice acting and things like that? What else do you love to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big nerd. I
Same here.
play Dungeons and Dragons a lot. I have a group that I'm playing with right now that I played with for 2 years or so, and we're like all actors except for like one of my other friends, and she can hang, so it's like whatever. But I love it. I just love storytelling. You get to like make a character and like become something else and like live in a different world for a while. Just like it just feels good.
It
Yeah,
feels
I
like
don't know.
exactly the type of thing creative should be doing. I mean, it's not just an escape in its own way. It's kind of practice too.
Yeah,
It really does help get outside of your head and think about other perspectives and get
yeah.
imaginative, get silly.
Get
I
to put
love
on a
it.
put on a silly accent, try something new for a while.
Yeah.
I got really good at an Irish accent through that game because I made a character. I was like, he's gonna be Irish. That's gonna be it. I'm just gonna talk like this the entire time, and I'm not gonna slip out of character at all. And I was like, it's useful.
That's awesome. That would be fun. That would be really fun to do.
That's a
All
good
right,
time.
I'm gonna jump to some of the questions about the book series.
Okay.
So you've narrated so far the first two books in Unveiling Aiden, and that's Singlets and Secrets and Pride and Persistence. Spoiler, Fearless and Fabulous is done. It's going through all the line edits and people got to catch my typos. I'm sure you caught some too. Don't tell me a single one. I will
I,
lose
there wasn't a
years
single
of
one.
sleep over it.
It
So
was perfect.
no, thank you, thank you. Absolutely, that's all I gotta believe. Absolutely, there's still a typo that lives in my head rent
Uh-huh.
free from a book I wrote 7 years ago now. That's out there, and I'm
Really?
still mortified by it. I went through it a dozen times. Other people went through it. It's just
Mm,
when you're so close to something, it blurs together. I think after a while. But anyway,
absolutely. Yeah.
so these are questions I'm really curious about, just to be honest, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping my readers and the fans of the series would enjoy your perspectives on them too. So my first question is, which character or characters did you connect with most in this series as you were reading it, and why?
Oh my gosh. I've been thinking about this. I would say Aiden's mom and Mr. Samuels, I think, were the first when I met them and I like was like in like reading about them and like how they talk to each other and like just their interactions. It made me think of like my own parents a little bit. Uh, in like certain ways. Mr. Samuels has this like rigidity, but he's very kind and understanding. He wants to like push people in a way that they like are like learning more about themselves. And his mom just takes no crap. And I love that. There was like a couple of moments where she's like, I'm gonna give them a piece of my mind. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna tell him what's up. And I was like, go get him, mom. Hell yeah.
Of that. Oh, what a great response. And Nick, you wouldn't know this, but I mean, I tried to base it off my own mom as much as possible,
Oh,
for the mom. And my mom passed away passed away in 2016.
I'm
So
sorry.
she never, this story wasn't around then, of course,
Yeah.
but
It's an
it's my
homage.
way. Exactly. It's my way of it's a tribute. It's keeping her spirit alive. She
Yeah.
was kind of my champion. So when people love Aiden's mom, I just love that all the more because I'm like,
She's a she's a firecracker. I would have loved her.
this I've got some scenes in the third because they're fresh in my mind, but
Yeah.
I mean she is going to face with the biggest villains and just not back down. She's not a fighter in that
I'm
sense, but she's
so
gonna have her own
excited
way.
about that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so excited about that.
Oh, I love that. And I think that again, I'm hoping that readers and parents, especially parents, I get a lot of moms who read this
Yeah,
series a lot more. I wish dads, of course, dads do too, but
we're
a
getting there.
lot of moms read this series. But I hope anybody who's a parent, here's the way I like to say it, and it's not original to me. Please don't ever be your child's first bully. And I think a lot of us have lived through that. And I wanted to write a couple of adult characters who show you how to
Yeah,
do it well. At least I
yeah,
hope they show you how to do it well when it comes to parenting or interacting with LGBTQ youth. So thank you for that
to-
response. I couldn't love it more.
totally. Yeah, I mean, truly, do it very well in a way where they're also figuring it out. Where they're like, I don't fully know exactly what this is, but you're my kid and I love you. And that's kind
Yeah.
of all it needs to be for now. And that's
That you're
fine.
100% right. All that we need to think about is what we're doing now and what happens next. We don't have to figure out all the answers,
No.
and it's okay to be a parent, or anybody out there who doesn't understand. But if you don't understand, then learn, right? That's the
Yeah.
like I have this thing I say in the classroom. If you want to describe a group of people or stereotype a group of people in a negative way in particular, and the
Hmm.
first thing I hear out of your mouth is, "I don't understand this group," but shut up right there.
Maybe
Shut
we
up.
should figure it out first. Maybe
Nothing
we.
else needs to come except then close your mouth. If your mouth is open, you're not learning. So
Yeah.
close it and listen. Let those who know who they are tell you and learn from them. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I hope all that's there. But
Yeah.
thank you for that. That
Of
made my
course.
day. Is there so let's jump to besides the characters, how about a scene or two? Is there any scene out there that did affect you emotionally or kind of stood out to you as maybe one of your Oh, here's another way I could ask it.
Mhm.
What's one of those scenes that you would love to share with everyone? Like if I could just grab one to share for free and maybe I can, what's one of the scenes you'd love
Yeah.
to really share?
Oh my gosh. In Pride and Persistence in particular, I think one of my favorite moments was when they were getting ready for the pep rally and they were like practicing hard and like gearing up. And then Mr. Samuels pulls out the rainbow belts for them and he's like we're going to show them who we are by being us. And that's going to be it. And him just being such a hero for these kids was like, oh, my heart. It just felt so good. And them like doing their best and just putting it all out there and being vulnerable and being like, we're going to kill it. And that's it. And then getting followed up by the other team that's flashy and spent all this money and is just very inauthentic. And I felt like I was in the audience as well as I was one of the kids in the pep rally. And it was just really good. I just really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. I love that scene. I try to keep the rainbow belt was an idea I had for a long time, and it was helping the notes like, where am I going to use this rainbow belt? You got to put it on.
It was very cute. I really enjoyed it a lot because it just had so many layers that when the other team came out and they're all flashy and ridiculous and they're like showing off to like, in their face it kind of thing. Yeah. It was one of those moments in like a movie. Here it comes. Here we go. Yup. I don't like it. But it was so right. It spoke so much to so many characters that were involved and it fleshed out them a lot more all at once. And I just thought it was a great scene. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you. You said it so beautifully because there is something powerful, I think, about just what I want is I want people to be vulnerable, be themselves, open up, take a risk. But this in the story itself, in that moment when that happens, and this happens a few times, I think it's a writing style. You get vulnerable, you open up yourself to whoever, and then you get hurt or get one upped or whatever it might be after the fact. And that's life. That sucks, but we all go through it, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Life.
Yeah, another cool part about that, since you brought it up, I'll tell you, is that, again, some people know this who know my background. So I'm a karate guy myself. I got involved in martial arts when I was very, very young, and I was a high school English teacher for 10 years. That was my first out of college job. And while I was a high school English teacher, all right, I decided, well, I wanted to get involved. And long story short, I tried to coach basketball. No, that's not good. I don't know. I played in 7th grade, but I don't know much more than that, and I also remember, it's always funny to me because I remember the coach, coaches get so mad at things, like if the kids miss their free throws or whatever, and I'm like, I don't care. I mean, did you have fun? Did you try?
Did you have a good time?
Let's go get ice cream.
Right, exactly. You guys also, like, you guys are kids. You're not going to states. We're not like you're not making money off of this. Just relax. Be a kid. Just be a child for a little bit, You only get to do it for so long.
You're so right. I mean, oh my gosh, there's 100 things pop in my mind. I don't want to take it over, but seriously, when 7th grade basketball, I skipped one practice, and it was on Halloween because I thought it might be my last Halloween to trick or treat. And I'll just say this because I'm, whatever, I don't care. But I went back to practice the next day, and the coach said, "Joe, you're a pussy." And I'm like, I'm in 7th grade, and I wanted to go out for Halloween, and you're supposed to be a mentor. Good job. Well, anyway, so I didn't coach basketball except for one season. So sorry for who were on my team that season, but I was just the assistant, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
I decided to open up my own martial arts program. So all of that has happened. I ran an after-school martial arts club for 10 years, and we actually did halftime demonstrations at football games and basketball games because the kids wanted to do it.
Yeah,
but it's the same sort of idea. Like, we would get 30 seconds, 2 minutes max, and we'd be a second thought or a last thought, or the kids would even get made fun of. But I just remember being so proud of them for going out, working hard, and showing other people what they've been spending their time doing. And that's something worth being proud of. So again, you picked such great scenes. Thank you for sharing those with me.
No, my pleasure. Yeah.
So obviously, I hope people who are watching or listening to this know a little bit about it, the stories, but they center on a queer teen protagonist training in the martial arts. And of course, he's navigating identity, romantic relationships, friendships, and all sorts of social conflict. Did any parts of Aiden's journey in particular so far resonate with you in your own personal experiences, or maybe your own professional ones too?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. I mean, I also, like you were saying, you did martial arts when you were like in the school. I also did. I did Aikido for a while. Mostly because my dad wanted me to. I did, yeah. My dad was really adamant about me doing it, and it was weird because I was like the youngest kid in most of the classes because it was like small dojo in Long Island, New York. There was nobody except for like full adults, maybe one 16, 17-year-old, and then me at like 10, 11, 12. It was weird. And I still remember all those moments. I still remember how I felt putting on the gi and getting ready and feeling like uncomfortable too, because I didn't feel like I belonged there. And I feel that's just kind of how you feel a lot of the time when you're a kid. Through Aiden's awkwardness, but moments of being so bold at the same time, like trying something putting like when he put on the makeup and like he did his eyeliner in the end of the second book, spoiler, sorry.
It's okay. Guess what? Aiden's queer and gonna go through some changes. Hey.
We all do. We all try things on. But there was so many moments of his journey that I felt like Aiden so often. Felt like insecurity and want to understand who I am. Like I had a crush on like one of my friends in high school and I was not allowed to talk about it. I was not allowed to say it or bring it up or anything because it wasn't that kind of like environment. There were moments that kids did come out as queer and did like it was pretty progressive because it was in New York, but it was, it was still hard. I was also a very quiet kid. So there's a lot of moments of like, what am I doing? Where am I going? And it's hard to figure that out by yourself, but like him finding this like this group and this thing and these people that he's finding his tribe a lot. And that also spoke volumes to me too, where I mean, even just moving from New York to LA, I had to refine my people all over again. And that took time. And I'm in my 30s now. So I was like, this should be easy. I should be able to make friends. And it still takes time. But yeah, there's so much good there. So much interesting bits of just be like humanity in Aiden's story that I adored. And I think that made it that's why it was so enjoyable and easy to go through too. I'm picking up what you're putting down in this book.
And it's so cool to hear you say that. There's just so many relatable things. I mean, I think a lot of people, I would hope everybody can relate to the idea of just trying to fit in, be yourself, not be judged for who you are, and wanting to have real friends and have a fun, meaningful life.
Yeah.
Everybody can relate to that. And then you add in that layer of we're all, adolescents in particular, already navigating through all of that. And it's so hard, especially add social media, add misinformation, add AI, and then
Mm-hmm.
add sexuality and maybe a home environment or a community. There are small towns where I live who wouldn't even allow a book like this in their classroom, or
Yeah.
the teacher's going to get in trouble for it. And it's just like, do you see yourself at all? Like, we're already going through so much. All we want to do is make this less painful for people. So I think the
Absolutely.
pain's relatable. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We want people to be able to find a book like this and be like, this is something that I'm going through and I get it. Even if you were like a straight person picking up this book and looking at it, there's so many parallels of like, this kid just wants to be loved and he just wants to be like accepted. And maybe I want that too. Because I mean, at the end of the day, everybody just wants to be like loved and understood. It's very basis human need is just being, I want to be, I need to be fed. I need to be hydrated. I want to be loved. That's about it. That's all you could really ask for. It's like so simple to like think that this could be available for you. There's somebody who has gone through this story. There's somebody who's lived it before, and you can pull from that however you want.
And I love that you say that, as I think if you're struggling out there in anything, I mean, anything
Yeah,
from sexuality, gender identity, mental health issues, and whatever else might be bothering you with the world, number one, I hope you turn to a human being, of course, and you work for that in your life. I don't want to get too personal to other people,
sure.
but I will tell you that we've lived a life where we've lost family members because of our identity, all sorts of
Yeah,
things like that. And it's like, again, all we really want at the end of the day is what you said, is just someone to be understanding and accepting. And the bar sometimes feels so low. All you got to do is be a decent human being,
it's
and I'm gonna
not
hug you.
hard. Yeah, it's
No,
not.
but I want
It's sorry, you go ahead.
I know. I just want anybody struggling. I just appreciate what you said, because if you don't have that in your life, turn to the stories. This is the beauty of art and entertainment. Whether it's animation, whether it's live action, whether it's a book, we can escape through another character who maybe has had similar experiences. And if they can get through it, if they can fall 7 and rise 8, my hope is that
Hmm.
everyone can get back up and keep going no matter what. So again, I just
Completely
really
agreed.
appreciate your examples. I was excited to ask you what you're looking forward to as the series progresses. So let me jump to that.
Hmm.
So Fearless and Fabulous is the title of book 3. I'm already
Oh
working on book 4. It's about halfway, I think I'd
my
say.
gosh.
Let's see, we're almost there, and that'll be it.
Cool.
Are you? I don't know. Are you contracted to all four? I can't even remember. Or does it
I think that
depend?
I think it's per book.
Yeah.
But like
All right, well, I hope that you
I
get.
believe
I hope
I
they
believe you can
offer it to
request
you, and I
me.
hope you have the time. Right? You know that sort of
Yeah,
thing. So,
absolutely. If anything, I will make time. I'm happy to like be a
yeah.
part of this.
Excellent, excellent. Well, tell us something that you're looking forward to seeing, or a prediction, or anything you'd really love to see as the series progresses.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I want more mom action. I'm really excited to see her running for mayor, I believe. That's gonna be just juicy. I'm very excited about that. And I'm really excited for like Aiden to kind of like discover more of his like self-worth a little bit. I think that that's part of like where things are heading, where he's like, I can just be myself and somebody will care about me. And I think that that's something that he's starting to learn, which it took me a long time to figure that out. But you can like he's putting on makeup, he's like trying something different, he's maybe speaking up more. I'm excited for him to start like realizing like it's okay to just be you. And I think that that's, you know, that's part of the story.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll pull up here really quick. This may not be the final version. In fact, I'd be willing to bet this will not be the final version, because we changed things up into the last minute. But I'll read you the quick. Here's the quick back of the book blurb so far for book
Okay.
three for everyone. So first time I'm sharing it with anybody actually, except for my editor. All right. Aiden Roth has survived tournaments, bullies, heartbreak, and a town that's never done fighting him. This year, he's determined to change everything. With his mom running for mayor and his karate family growing stronger, Aiden is finally ready to help build the loving community he's always dreamed of. But Aiden also knows one truth better than anyone: you never forget your first love. 9 months after. Oh gosh, this is spoilers, by the way.
Oh,
So let me pause. I'll continue right there, but just for anyone listening, you don't want to be spoiled about the end of book two. Stop listening. All right. All right. But anyway, 9 months after Mateo moved away and Aiden's heart shattered, an unexpected message flashes across his phone. Just as Aiden is finding balance again and maybe even new love, he must confront the parts of his past that refuse to stay buried. Meanwhile, adults who should inspire are the ones fueling the fires of hate, dragging the entire town into its most dangerous year yet. Aiden and his friends must create a plan bold enough to tip the scales of justice, if they're willing to risk everything to make it happen. Caught between the boy who broke his heart, the boy who wants to heal it, and a lifetime of buried truths, Aiden must face the questions he's been running from. How do you move forward when the past still owns your heart, and when the world keeps repeating its worst mistakes? Fierce, romantic, and full of unstoppable joy, Fearless and Fabulous is a story about first love and healing, chosen family, and the courage it takes to fight hate without losing the best parts of yourself. For anyone who's ever dared to shine, this story is for you. So that's what I wrote so far. Yay, I'm
yay.
excited for it. I really think for you and for anyone else, it's my favorite. I mean, of course it's my favorite. The last thing I do is always my favorite, but I'm really trying to move forward into joy a little
Yeah.
less. I mean, the homophobia is still going to be there in certain characters, but it's not central. And what I'm excited for you to see, yeah. So mom running for mayor, she's going to be quote unquote attacked in different ways, and so
Yeah,
that's where
I'd
we're gonna
imagine.
have to fight a little bit more.
Uh,
And
yeah, I
from
mean, especially like political, like when it gets into that kind of nature, there's always a level of
yeah,
slander that's thrown around, which is like exciting and difficult. So
it is.
I'm excited to see how our current mayor tries to do her. Like
Because the
I
the fun
yeah.
part is our current mayor's the way I set up in book three, which you would know yet, but the current mayor's retired, and so it's a rivalry between Aiden's mom and her opponent is
Mm,
Logan's dad. So Aiden's big bully, his father's the other one running for mayor. So it's
right.
so there you go. A lot of
Oh,
fun we're gonna have with that, and but my hope is I really do hope it's the most joyful story. It's equally painful and joyful at times, and
yeah.
that maybe that's a weird juxtaposition, but I like it. All right. So I guess I'm gonna just ask if there's anything else you wanted to share about yourself, any upcoming projects you wanted to promote, or anything else you simply wanted to share about your books or these books or your experiences recording them. Sort of your final thoughts. Anything else
Yeah.
you'd love to share with us?
Yeah, final thoughts. Oh my God. Just be weird and do the thing. I never thought in a 1,000,000,000 years that I would be doing this as my job, but I had a thought about it. And I threw caution to the wind and I said, like, let's wing it and see what happens. And that's the only way you're gonna change your life or your perspective or anything, is just trying to do it. So I think this book has been excellent. I've really, really loved this story. If you're feeling lost, if you need a little bit of a hug, it's definitely that kind of book. And it can really help you change some of your thought processes. Maybe you're like a queer kid who's like coming out or like wanting to like try something new and you need like a somebody else who's going through it just like you. I think that this is a good opportunity for you to check it out. What else is happening? Yeah, if you are looking to book me for a book, my email is nick.monteleone.vo@gmail.com, or you can go to my Instagram, which is Nick of Time, THYME, cooking joke, or my
Now it makes sense.
right. I know that was full
All right, I
circle.
love it.
And my Twitter is MonteleoneBO. I was also recently in my first animated show called Twisted Wonderland. It's on Disney Plus and Hulu.
So cool. Twisted Wonderland.
Yeah, Twisted Wonderland, the animation.
Who do you play in Twisted Wonderland?
I play Will Schönheit. It's a retelling of the Disney villains. And so it's like the 7 Disney villains made into like a sort of like Harry Potter style magic dorm situation where all of the Disney villains are like recreated into these like house wardens, and like it's a fun vibe. So I play the like evil queen in Snow White retold.
Going on my must-watch list right now. I'm so excited. This is so exciting, seriously. And I'm going to make everyone watch it and be like, I know him.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. Other than that, I'm excited to see what the new year has in store. I'm keeping my open mind, and yeah, I'm looking forward to working hopefully on these next 2 books with you, Joe. I like cannot wait for these stories.
3 should hopefully come to you soon. I even asked the again, we got a couple of things that we got to go through before it gets formally sent or whatever, but but I actually did ask my publisher. I don't have an answer yet, but I asked because initially we were going to try to do a Pride Month release on this. It's ready to go. We can do it in 6 months, I think, but then I said, actually, let's go ahead and put a pin in that if you want, and let's see when Tantor can get it done, and Nick can get it if. Let's just see when it can get done, and maybe we'll do a big release where the audio ebook and the physical book all drop on the same day. I think that'd be really fun.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, I mean, like,
so maybe.
Like, you can email me and we can figure it out. You could tell Tantor that you've already talked to me, maybe, and be like, look, we've chatted. He's into it, like, and we can have like a wide timeline because I am booking up kind of fast. I'm pretty busy into like August already, but like, if I get it sooner, I can like start weaving it in a couple of other like in between other projects as well, and we can like make sure that it hits for that timeline. If you
probably should cut this next part out, but I'm like, I can send it to you anytime. I'm like, all right, dropping it right now.
If you get it to them, if you get it to them sooner, like you can just request me on it. I would be happy to do it.
I certainly will, Nick. I appreciate you and congratulations on everything you're doing, and I hope let's make these audiobooks bestsellers. Let's keep them I think one opportunity leads to the next, and
absolutely,
I think it's just incredible to see what you're doing, how you're doing it, and the joy that you seem to have doing it. So I think that's what people are going to take out of this. That's what I want people to take out of it. Is this is a joyful, talented individual, and what a delight to spend part of our days being creative and trying to inspire and connect. And I think it's just you're doing all the wonderful things, and it's really cool to see.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Joe. I really do. And truly, you as well. This has been such a delight. And I even like hearing you talk about like that you were an English teacher and that you did karate and that you are Aiden and you're also Mr. Samuels and all these other characters that are like around you. It just gives me such a better perspective of your life and who you are. And it's just been really nice to be a part of it.
And truth be told, I'm even a little bit Logan. That's the thing, is like you got to put your bad parts in there as well as your good parts. I think that's what makes it real.
Yeah.
And there's a really heavy moment coming in book 3. I won't spoil it for you or anyone, but it's a truthful moment that comes from a real place of, when I say that we're going to unbury some stuff from the past, it's a real thing that I experienced. And of course I just made Aiden experience it too. So,
oh my gosh.
Hey, here we go. Fun times.
I'm so excited.
But it's all good. It's all for good stuff. But thank you for that, Nick, and thank you
Yeah.
for everything